Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation Miss Couture. And today is our final episode for this season of Pride for creating and building up the flag inspiration collection. So I just want to start off this episode by saying that I'm sorry. I just realized while I was editing that I made a huge mistake. So while dyeing, I was following some flags and I got confused between the non-gender pride flag and the asexual pride flag. So for this video, I thought I was dyeing the ace one. However, I realized that unfortunately I was dyeing the non-gender or non-gender pride flag. So I deeply apologize for that. This is a huge mistake on my part. It won't happen again, hopefully. So sorry about that. We're going to be working on the non-binary and the non-gender pride flag in this video. And I've currently have in the dye pot the actual ace pride flag. I do not have it ready right now, but it will be available on the website, and I will be donating my proceeds to Brightlight, which is a hotline for any 2S LGBTQA plus member of the community here in Alberta. So that way, I hope that we can help improve the mental health of the 2S LGBTQA plus community. So I deeply apologize for that, and let's get into this video. Okay, so welcome back to probably the last Pride we will be doing for this year. So since I want to do as many as I can, we're going to be doing two flag today. So we're going to do the ace flag and the non-binary one. So for the non-binary, we're going to use pearl purple, duckling, and we'll also use true black here, where for the ace, we're going to be using the true black, the silver gray, and the chartreuse. So I'm going to grab quickly my respirator so we can do our stock solutions. And as a reminder, if you want a 1% stock solution, you need 1 gram per 100 milliliter. And if you want a 1% depth of shade, you need to measure your fiber. And if you have 100 gram and you want a 1% depth of shade, you will use 1 gram for 100 milliliter. So let's get into the mask. Okay. And it's important to zero out your scale every time. Oops, too much. Every time that you have a new container on your scale, you want to zero it out. And I'm not making a stock solution of chartreuse because I want to speckle it. Okay. So I don't know if the microphone caught that, but basically I said that I wanted to make sure that everything is zeroed out when we are switching the colors. And I'm not going to do a stock solution of chartreuse because I want to speckle it. Is that my black? Yes. Okay, so I have the things here. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go in the pen now. All right, so we already have the water here in the citric acid. So we have half a tablespoon of citric acid in both pan, and we have this one has 4 cups of tap water, and this one has 2 cups of tap water. I've put 4 cups here because we needed more to cover the space, and we don't want to have we don't want to not have enough liquid in here. And we're doing a low immersion for both of them. So I have this big one here because for the non-binary, I'm actually going to be doing the actual flag. So I want to make sure I have enough space to cover the entire thing of yarn. So I want to make sure that I'll be able to spread the fiber as much as possible. Okay, so I want to have all the space I can and have the skein as open as possible. So it's going to be a good coverage. Here, since we're working with, since we're going to be twisting and everything, I'm just going to quickly add my skeins so we can have a head start here. Perfect. So I'm going to turn on the heat right away and get this out of my way. Okay, so we have the black first over here. And if you want to be able to reproduce the same thing over and over again, I highly recommend that either you take notes in a physical notebook, take videos of what you're doing, turning on the heat now, take photos, you do whatever you need so that you're able to recreate it. If being able to redo the same colors over and over again is not some things that you want necessarily to do, that's perfectly fine. You just have to figure out a way. It's just that if you really, really like a color and you want to redo it, I highly recommend the idea to take notes. Okay, so we're going to have a pretty decent coverage here, I believe. But I want to wait a little bit so that the black can strike the yarn a little bit more before we start adding the purple and the yellow. And one thing that you want to note is that where was I going with that idea? I don't know, I forgot what I was saying. Okay, yes. I'm trying to massage the yarn and the color into the yarn the same way for both skeins to make sure that we have the same coverage on both and that we are able to properly work our way through it. And I'm trying to not move it too much, but it's okay if some will go up. It's just going to make the purple section a little bit darker. To avoid this, what you could do is also have a higher volume of water in your pan. However, I wanted the color to spread a little bit more, so I had a low immersion. So contrary to what you would think, when you have more water, it creates more resistance, so the color will stay more put where where you're putting it. Where when you have a lower immersion like this one, it will move a little bit easier because there's it will follow the path of least resistance. And did I turn it on? Yeah, okay. I was starting to go crazy, I think. Okay. I'm going to put a 15 minutes timer here so that way I can just leave it be and we'll come back and add the rest of the colors after that. So see you. Yeah. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes since I saw you, and so we're pretty good here. We're pretty good here. There's still a little bit of black, but that's okay. So it will just take a little bit longer for it to absorb, which I'm perfectly fine. So I'm just going to unscrunch a little bit of this portion, and we're going to be adding the purple. And I'm trying to do it slowly, slowly. Slowly. Yeah, slowly is the word. And I'm okay with some of the color to will move up. That's fine. That's part of the charm of hand-dyed yarn after all. Just going to make sure that we have everything opened up. And then we're going to let this go. Let this work for about 15 minutes as well. And after that, we'll be able to just, oh no, I made a mistake. That's okay. That's part of the charm of it. Just have to make sure that I'm not. That's okay. Let's breathe. Okay, so we're going to flip those ones here. So we're going to be adding our gray. And I know that technically I should not, I need to add gray. However, with True Black, I think it's a better idea to do that. Okay, so because the True Black will give a sort of a blue effect to it. Okay. Oops. Okay. And we're going to be adding our speckles of chartreuse right now. So I'm going to grab my mask real quick. I'll be back. And we want to make sure that the gloves are very dry. Where's chartreuse? Okay. So I'm going to make sure that everything is opened up here. And we're going to be able to add our yellow. And I'm going to be adding it by the top because this is where we will have the more resistance to that. Okay, and I'm not going to try to move it too much because I still want to keep some white portion to the yarn. So we're just going to let this, and if I feel like there's too much yellow still at the top, I'm just probably going to throw in a little mini skein to make sure that we can absorb the over, like, the too much of it. And I'm already liking this one. That's going to be so cool. Okay, so now that we have all our yarn in the pans, all the colors in the pans, we're going to put a 30 minutes timer to have everything strike properly. And after that, we'll let it cool down and we're going to wash it once it's cooled down in spin dryer, and then it's gonna go in for the night for the drying portion of it. So, see you in a bit. All right, do you think we're going to have any bleeding at all? Because we have some colors that could be bleeders in those colors. And I think I put a tiny bit too much soap for this. Um, but with the quantity of colors that we did use, we should be fine. However, sometimes True Black does give a little gray tint to the water, sometimes not. And here I was more worried about the chartreuse because I was speckling with it. And sometimes, we have clumps of, the dry powder. Give me 1 second. Of the dry powder that will create color in your bath. But this time I think we were fine. I was not heavily speckling, so we were able to avoid any dry clump, which I was very happy with. And I'm super excited for the non-binary color. It's super fun. I'm hoping that it's going to be well received with the non-binary. And I called it non-binary because this is very cute, and I went with very punny name for those colors. So if you would like to donate directly to the organization, you're more than welcome to do so. I will have a link in the description box below. And now we're going to let it dry overnight, and we'll see the final result in a moment. And here's the final result for the non-binary and the ace flag. I'm super excited with the final effect of those. And you can see here that we have the two-tone grays and we still have some whites, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I think that the chartreuse really made this look pop more. As you can see, it's not necessarily a sharp speckle, it is definitely more of a splotch, which is the effect I was going for with the way we did it. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. And the same thing with my non-binary flag. I'm so excited to see how well it turned out. So I don't know if you remember, I was like, oh no, I made a mistake. That's because I put some purple by accident on the yellow section. It's not too bad, but I'm not super happy with how I did that. Usually I make sure that I like don't make mistakes like that, and not this time. I'm sorry about that. But I'm very happy that we were still able to keep the white section white, because sometimes when you're washing the yellow or the purple, you could contaminate the white portion of it, but not this time. I'm very excited about this. Even my black is looking good. I'm 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 very proud of myself. I think I did pretty good this time, so that's pretty cool. So, like the rest of the collection, there will be a portion donated to charity. I will have the link in the description box below if you're interested to donate directly to the charity instead of purchasing yarn. They will be part of my permanent collection in the Color for a Cause section of the website, and uh, the donation will be year round as well. So anytime that someone purchases the yarn, the donation will be made. So I hope you've liked the video, and if you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing. And I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.